What's up, my precious little pack, and welcome back to VEGA Conflict. So, the monthly event is drawing to a close. Deadlock is ending in under 24 hours, and I'm basically done. I've got everything I want from the event. I got my resources, I got the blueprints. There's only a few more things that I may try and unlock, but I can get them anytime. But I figured I'd talk about a few things that I'm still waiting on in-game so I can show off and stuff like that. The main thing is we still are waiting on... You gonna take 25 minutes getting open? Nah, you good. Alright. Still waiting on the Fragment Crafting to go live, which is what we do for gathering holes and stuff like that, and I still don't see anything in-game anywhere, so I don't see anything that we can just say, oh look, we can farm this and get pieces for this, because all I see is the blueprints again, and there's no other loot table down here. I even checked the rebels to see if they got a new box or anything like that. I checked the standard cargo fleets all the way from the low ones all the way up to the high tiers, and I didn't see anything, so still waiting on that. And also, the daily Blood Amber missions, they were supposed to be reworked. That hasn't happened yet, so still waiting on that as well. There's actually quite a bit to talk about in-game. First off, let's hop into the Deadlock. I'm going to talk about it, and this will be the primary point of this video, and it will probably be the name of the video, and the additional thoughts that will be included will be to cover other things. But the event. What did all of you think of the event? Did you find it decent? Did you find the targets that if you used your brain and thought a strategy up, you could actually employ it against them and actually reduce your repair time? I did, and the 2 hours and 30 minutes I was taking before, I managed to reduce it down to, let's see, I went from 5 hits at 14 hours and 50 minutes to 15 hours, down to 9 hours and 30 at the lowest to 10 hours at the most now. And all I'm still doing the focus fire thing. I'm just trying to keep less of their ships in range than I was before. So when I started moving the first way, I started falling back a little bit more to the corner, so I had more time to engage a single set. And I also focused the battleships. I had the carrier of mine focus on the enemy battleships while I used my cruisers to destroy the bastions. But I've basically cleared out everything I need. I still have to farm up more antimatter unless I want to convert some more XP to antimatter, well, to all the resources, which I may actually do. But right now as it stands, there's not much to talk about in-game because there's no new features. I still can't produce the new ships or anything like that, so I can't do anything with that. Ship token rats coming up. Still waiting on the different planet strike rotations than what we have right here to be in. Still waiting on quite a few things. Oh, one thing I can talk about. I said I would talk about it the day before yesterday, and that is that the weapons fitting. Alright, so you're going to have multiple fittings for depending on what you're going to be fighting. You're going to be fighting Ancient Reapers with Revelation Cruisers with shielding and armor. You're not going to be using focused optics though, you're going to be using Impulse Beam, because it occurred to me that not everyone may be able to get Thermal Beam 3, because typically from what I see you have to farm it up from the blueprints, because I actually haven't seen it in any of the rotations for the Planet Strike or Sector Strike for that matter. I also haven't seen the... I have, however, to counter the other statement, I have, however, seen the Impulse Beam, so it would be more readily available. So, if you can, pick up the Impulse Beam level 3, because that's what you're going to be putting on your cruiser. And you're going to be doing well, you're going to need level 3 and level 2 for it, because you're going to be doing a bit of a different fitting. I'll have to talk about it in a separate video, but it's fairly straightforward for the fitting. And again, it'll use researchable thrusters, rear thrusters 5, unless you have fusion thrusters 3, then I'd recommend them. But for the main part, it's going to be using the Impulse Beam with no boosted range or anything like that. It's going to be strictly for farming Reaper fleets and things like that. But I'll be refitting my ships and stuff like that with the fitting so I can show off the difference between the thermal beam and the impulse beam in combat for the damage that they do. As well as show off how effective or how ineffective the fleet is, and I'll come up with a separate fitting if that is the case. But I figured I'd want to talk about it, and now back to the main point, the Deadlock event. I have actually been enjoying the event. It's not grindy, it's not tedious. I hit a few 80s and I log out for repair time for the day. I've played for about 30 minutes each day so far from the event. I may put in 30 more tomorrow, well, later today, and farm up another set of 5 Bastion Mark II boxes, as well as gather up a little bit more intel. It all just depends. But as it stands right now, is the event a hit or a miss? For once, I'm not going to say it's a miss, but I'm not going to say it's a hit because it could be better in multiple respects, and a lot of their specs relate to the difficulty of the fleets, the damage they do, as well as the strategies they employ, along with payout. Now, I have no problem with the actual fighting because we can reduce the damage they do just by simply thinking over a better strategy if one strategy does not work. The points payout, however, it's good because as you can see, I've basically cleared out the prize store for stuff that I wanted. I've even gotten a few extra things, and I'm probably going to pick up a few more. But for the most part, it's halfway in between a hit and a miss. So it gets a hit and a miss at the same time. It was a good event overall in my eyes. The targets couldn't be touched by lower levels if I'm not mistaken, but most of the newer targets are like that. However, the only thing that I saw that was a problem with them was certain players jumping other players. We all know about that. Some people, they would wait on top of you to jump you, do whatever they wanted. And you can't do anything about it just because they literally sit on top of you and wait. They wait for you to come out of combat so they can destroy your fleet. And, well, that's one of the reasons I'm giving the event a miss. Out of, like, 1 out of 3 strikes, it'll get 1 strike just because of that. The other 2, it won't have strikes just because of how decent it is. And yes, I'm actually going to say that the event, for a change, was decent. And the resources per fleet, the primary resource for the fleets that were given out were not antimatter, ore, mineral ore. And I can honestly say that was a good thing because, well, not really because I didn't really need it because I cleared out the store. I still have a few more things to do and I'll be dealing with bridge upgrades and stuff like that, but I also have more farming to do. I need to gather up antimatter, another 160 million. But aside from that, what are all of your thoughts on the Deadlock event? Did you get the new battleship? Did you get the weapons for it and things like that? Let me know about that in the comment section below. If you had a strategy similar to mine for hitting the aliens, let me know. If you actually have a strategy that may have been better, also let me know down below. If you had a fleet fitting that was getting very low repair time while yielding high level combat, go ahead and say so below. Things like that. And I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. If you like the video or anything like that, if you have any questions about fittings for the ships, if you have questions about blueprints in game or anything like that, leave a comment in the comments section. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And as always, everybody, I'll see you later.